Hi, and welcome to Please Zip an Entire Customer. Hey, my name is Eric, and in this video we're going to cover actually quite a few different requests. I think the main topic of the video is how to actually create zip files from within Business Central. But in order to put something interesting into a zip file, I'm actually going to try to, zip an entire customer, meaning all invoices, credit memos, stuff that has happened. You can take this concept and apply it to documents or anything else for that matter, data. But that's what I'm going to do. So let's get into it, because there's probably going to be a fair amount of programming going on in this video. So better get started. Here is my trusted old Visual Studio Code, and I have fired up a new solution. Just created a simple action menu item here. So get documents. Let's do as zip. Or in zip, perhaps. That's not important. So let's think about it. I think let's start by creating a procedure saying, let's call it add single document. What's the parameter to this? So I think what we need to do up here is something like take the customer ledger entries, and then let's do customer ledger entry set. Set range on the customer number to rec.number, and if find set false, then repeat add single document, and then it has to be this one. At how, we don't know yet, until there's no more documents on this customer. I think that's going to be our main loop. So let's add this as a parameter here. Cost ledger entry. Excellent. Okay, so how do we create an invoice as a PDF? Let's think about that for a second. Somewhere in here we have to do report. There has to be something report. So when we're in the cloud, we used to be able to use the report save as PDF, but that one writes to a file, and there are no files in the cloud, so we have to do something else. We have to use the save as function. And save as, the first parameter to save as is the ID of the report. But what's the invoice reports? So in order to figure that out, we need to look into something called report selection. And there's a record called report selection. Excellent. And report selection is if I open up and then I go into report selection, sales, we can see that we have a usage. So if I do invoice, then I get some lines here. It's pretty neat. So let's look into this. And right now, so this one supports that you have more than one report per usage. We're gonna ignore that right now, because otherwise this video will get way too long. So let's do a set range on the usage. Not report set range. Report selection dot set range on usage, and report selection. What we want to look at is, and you see here, there's tons of different, and they are right now behind my big head. There's tons of stuff for the different ones. The one we're after is called s.invoice. And this thing is not strictly necessary, but I usually do this because real life. So let's get one where there's actually a report ID, because sometimes you get those blank entries and it's strange. So let's report selection.find first, and we're just gonna if this failed, then the stuff will fail saying there's no report within the filter, which is basically what we have to do if there's no report within the filter. So we'll just leave the find first unprotected. Okay, so now we know that the number, so we have report selection.report ID. Excellent. That's the first parameter to save us. The next parameters are parameters. So what you can do is that there's a whole request builder functionality, so you can build up the report request page and get those filters as a string, but we don't need that to print a report or print an invoice. We'll just ignore that. Then we need to tell what format we're gonna print in. In this case, we're gonna do PDFs. And now we lost this guy. So the next parameter after the format is an outstream. So let's create an outstream. You guys know by now that I always call my outstream outs and instream ins. And then the last parameter is a record ref. And the record ref is the filtering record that we need to put into the report. So with this, we need to have a record of sales invoice header, and then we need to have a record ref. Record ref. So sales invoice, we need to apply a filter to this one, and so we have a customer ledger entry. We need to find the invoice. That's through the document number, but in sales invoice is actually called number, and then we filter with the value from customer ledger entries document number. So now we have applied a filter to this one. We're actually not gonna grab, we just need the filter. Then let's open the record ref here to sales, add a colon more, sales invoice header, and then we're going to connect this record ref to this record, even though it has not been get. So we want to have those filters. We could have just opened this one and found the field ref for field number 1 and added a filter to the field ref. I kind of like this better. So with this, we can add the ref, and we're done. So now we are exporting to an outstream, so we have no place to put this. So let's actually extend this with the temp blob. I've done a video on the temp blob, so you can go check that out. If you subscribe, you've seen it. Otherwise, I suggest subscribing. There's tons of videos coming in 2021, like this one. So let's use the temp blob to create an outstream. Another great video is the in-out, read-write, confusing directions, where I try to explain what's in and out. And so an outstream is something that you can write to. An in-stream is something that you read from. So in this case, we want to write to this. So this is great. So now we're writing to an outstream. So that's pretty good. But what if it's not an invoice? So let's let's actually do this. Case document type of. So what if this is document type? Oops, document type invoice. Begin. Oh, here we go. Come on. There we go. End. And then we'll put an end on the case. Let's see if this compiles. It does. Okay, so now we're gonna do the worst thing you can do is copying code. So let's copy this one and say credit memo. So in this case, we need to find the usage, which is now sales. Let's see if we can find it. Sales credit memo, that's the thing. There we go. So now it's not sales invoice, then it's, let's do sales credit memo record, sales credit memo header. So now it's sales CR, that was what I called it, yeah. We're still filtering, and this one is now the database. So if you're wondering why I actually used the database colon and the name instead of just typing 112 and 114, I'm trying to get away from the numbers because the numbers mean less and less in AL. So in case this is one of your own tables, if you reference it by this way, if you decide to renumber the table or anything like that, you're not going to get into trouble in cases like this. So and it looks nicer also from a reading perspective. So let's see if we got, so we're getting the sales credit memo report selection, we're getting the sales credit memo, we're adding that to the ref. So when we're calling the report save as, it's now a new report, it's now a new ref. This is great. Let's do one more. How about we do payment? That's a fun one. So in this case, I am not going to copy the report selection because there is no report selection. If we go back to this one, let's see, there is nothing here but payments. So what's the document for payment? But actually, there is a report. Let's see if we can find it. Oops. I'll just go into the base app here, go to reports, come on, there is a report. Not many people are using it, but there is a customer payment receipt report 211. So let's use this one. So in this case, we'll do report save as, and then we'll do report customer dash payment receipt. Again, avoiding the number. Blank parameters. Report format is still PDF and out, and we still need a ref. So what is the ref in this case? So the ref in this case, so this report actually, let's go back and check. I'm pretty sure this one runs off the customer ledger entries, which we already have, so that's pretty easy. So we already have that, and since we have not transferred this, we haven't done this, we can just use this one. So let's actually set a range on the customer number with the value of the customer number in the record, and set a range on, I'm not sure that's actually a range on the entry number should probably be enough, but let's just set a range on the entry number. And then we still need to open the ref. So ref.open database customer ledger entry and ref.get table CLE. So now it's the same pattern as we have here, the exact same pattern. We set the filters that we want, and then we create a record ref that points to that record variable. So let's just because remember there were actually more documents, like finance charge memo and refund and reminder and blank, just to make it complicated. So let's just say that if we get some of the others, we'll ignore it right now. We should probably do finance, but not in this video. Well, this is pretty good. Let's see if it compiles. It do not compile. Did I write out where I should have written out S? There we go. Okay. So now we have the report put into a temp blob. So let's get back to what this video is actually about: zip files. So let me show you. So what we need to do, we need to grab, so I'll create a variable up here called zip, type code unit, and there's a code unit called data compression. Awesome. And in data compression, you can create zip archive. So think about this code unit as a zip file in the making. So now we have create zip archive. So the easiest way for us to work with this is actually that we pass the code unit as a parameter to our function. So we'll do this semicolon, and in this case it's very, very important that we do transfer by reference. So we do say var zip code unit data compression. So it's the same instance of the code unit. So let's take a look down here. I'm just gonna say we probably need a in-stream. So I'm gonna create it right now. So I have it. So right here after the case, we can simply go and say, what did we call it? Temp blob, create the in-stream, and then zip add entry. And what are the parameters for add entry? I know Visual Studio is kind of lately been not that nice to actually show me the parameters. So we had a stream to add, that's easy, that's in, and then the other parameter is a path in archive. Okay, so we need to give the file inside the zip a name. So let's actually add another variable here called file name. And we can just fill that out somewhere here, saying that we can make this more generic. We'll do it, we'll just do it here. So file name equal format cle.document type plus a space plus cle document number plus, and now we're behind my head, .pdf. There we go. So we're building a file name. And we're adding that through the add entry to the zip. And the zip file is code unit, but transferred in as a parameter. So now I think we're getting close to something. So we're creating a zip, we're adding stuff to it. So what we need to do after that is fairly simple. We need to do, we need to basically, not what it's called, sorry, it's called, again, that's a funny thing right now that, you see, now I get the long list, but sometimes I only get 3. As soon as I'm down here, no, there's something weird going on with how many options it shows. But now we need to say save. And where do we save it? Well, again, we need to... Wow, I just broke something. Why? Hey, see that? No overload for method save zip archive takes 0 arguments candidate. Oh, or did I? Also, haven't seen that an error message inside the tooltip. So wait, or am I losing it? Oh, anyway, it clearly takes an outstream. So let's make sure that we create an outstream. But then we need some way to put it, so let's create a temp blob here also. So temp blob create outstream. Now it's saved to that one. And the last thing, let's just download it. So download from stream. And it takes an in stream, that doesn't matter, and a file name. So let's create both of them. In stream, file name. There we go. So temp blob create in stream. Here we go. And file name, that could just be, you know, the name of the customer, plus data.zip, space data, actually, not space data, but space data. Okay, moment of truth. Let's see how this works. How many lines have we gotten into? Less than 100. So that is, I guess, okay. Let's deploy it and see what happens. So we got some customers. Tray research, and where did I put it? I think I put it here. Get documents in zip. Let's see what happens. Okay, so the report is being rendered. The report is being rendered. Yeah, you can see it's flickering. There's a fair amount of documents on these customers, I guess. So far nothing has imploded and given us funky errors, so that's good. Let's see how many there are. This is exciting. There we go, and we're downloading a 2.1 megabyte, and it's clearly a zip file. I open the zip file, it comes in on a different screen, and here it is. I know this is kind of very, very small for you guys to see. Let me just open the first PDF file in here. And tray research. So it's a invoice to the right customer. Looks great. Perfect. And I think the pattern in the demo data is that, remember the payment receipt report we added in? This is this one. So telling that that one is paid. Perfect. There are no credit memos on this one, but I think this is pretty cool. So we created a zip file. Let's take a quick look at the code again. So we create a zip archive, then we pass the zip code unit variable to the parameter. When we get that back, we save it to an outstream into a temp blob, and then from the temp blob we download the zip file. In the document function, we, through report selection, figure out what report to run. Then we create a record ref to set the filter on the report. We call report into a temp blob again. And then we take from the temp blob and add that into the zip. And that's it. So in less than 100 lines of code, we have a solution where you can create a zip file with all the documents that happened on a customer. I think that's pretty cool. Anyway, that's it for this video. If you can use something like that, let me know in the comments below. And otherwise, until next time, have a wonderful day.